4 amazing competitors, 4 amazing judges, and the variety of our competitors today is huge. A ton of very interesting backgrounds and experiences. And I'm not going to spoil the surprise. We're going to dig in soon. But first off, if you're here, you're celebrating these amazing sales careers, the best thing that you can do is make sure to click subscribe, like, all that stuff. That helps amplify their signal, and we appreciate all the help you can give. But first off, quick preview to who we have for judges. We're very, very fortunate to have HiMama, Mahmoud, Lena, and Chris Von Huyn, CVH himself. I'm going to get them to introduce themselves in a moment, but they're here to help score and rate for incredible competitors. And so here's who you have competing today for September's Demo Day champion. We have Dawood, Jens, Tim, and Marcus. And no, this is not the order they are presenting in. Part of the big challenge is they don't yet know who's up first. We'll let them know shortly. But first, let me give you the ground rules so you know what to expect. In a moment, we're going to invite you into the Zoom room where our competitors, our judges, our audience, and our prospect are. And there are some rules for those who are in the Zoom room. We're asking them to keep their cameras on, to keep their mics off. We're asking them to engage in the chat so you can see the channel, conversation, the back talk, all of the thumbs up, thumbs down, feedback. That's going to be a lot of fun. And of course, this is an opportunity to build up. So you're going to see a lot of constructive feedback, cheers, highlights. If you're looking to improve your sales game, look for where the audience is engaging, because those are great tips and great techniques. And then, of course, we've asked them all to share our YouTube links. So we're going to toss those into the chat shortly. As you hear me going through the rules, it's a good opportunity to share on other channels to get people into this. But our competitors have some rules as well. Number 1, 4 competitors, 4 pitches. We've asked each of them to share what they're selling and who they're selling it to, so we know the buyer. Greg, our buyer, is going to be switching hats left, right, and center. And this is going to be a fun challenge for him, so we'll see how that goes. They each have 15 minutes, and yes, we do have a gong. I love my soundboard, and every excuse I have to press those buttons is a win for me, so we'll see how well they stick to 15 minutes. We give a 2-minute break for the judges to finish their score, feedback, and notes, and that's important because it comes back later. We will also have a 5-minute break in the middle, so people can top up on water, caffeine, or whatever their vice is. And at the very end, our lead judge will walk us through feedback, notes, and we will crown a demo champ. This is going to be a lot of fun, but let's actually dig in. For those who are joining us on YouTube or any other streaming channel, we're going to bring you right into the Zoom room now. Everyone in Zoom, can we get a quick wave for the audience? Good stuff. Okay, let's do some introductions. So first, our judges. I've asked each of the judges to keep it really tight, to share their name, where they work, and I've asked them to give one tidbit. What's one thing they've learned so far in 2021? Our first 2 judges, Lena, CVH, can you start us off?
Sure. My name is Lena Thiba. I am the co-founder of Black Women of SaaS Sales. My day job is at an incredible company called Volley, where I'm the sales development and learning manager there. And the one thing that I've learned this year is that life is a marathon and not a sprint. So don't sweat it, just go day by day. And that's me.
Great advice. Oh my goodness. Yes, it has been a journey. CVH, what about you? Can you tee us up?
Yeah, so Chris Von Huyn, sales director at Prodigal. I think the one thing I really learned this year is more about just understanding kind of the ebb and flow of your sales deal and not being so stuck in the process and checking your boxes, because you're dealing with humans and not robots, and we're kind of emotional, especially during this time. So it's one of those things I reminded myself a lot during this year.
I love the empathy and giving the tips to the competitors before we even start. Ooh, we'll see who picks that up. I'm going to get on to the next 2 judges, but before we do, I want to give our first competitor 2 minutes so they can prep. So first up, we have Jens. So you've got a couple of moments to get yourself ready. And let's move on. In order, Mahmoud, HiMama, could you introduce yourselves too, please?
Sure. Hey guys, my name is Mahmoud, and I currently lead corporate development for Fog Software Group in the manufacturing and engineering space, which is part of Constellation. Corporate development is just a fancy word, for sales, but we're basically buying companies instead of selling software. One thing I've learned in 2021 is that there's more money on the market than there are good companies. So if you're building a company and it's remotely decent, your chances of raising money is fairly good in this market.
That's some good message for anybody who's selling companies. Love it.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Haitham Elimbabi. I'm the co-founder of a company called I'dHire.me. We are helping people apply effective frameworks from sales and marketing to the job search. In many ways, you are a premium product, and the job search is very similar to a B2B sale. One thing that I have learned and relearned in 2021 is to detach yourself from the outcome, really focus on the process, build the habits that are going to help you get better every day. And you'll be much happier hopefully in your life. Thank you.
That's awesome. Oh, it's really good to get to know who our judges are, because we're going to be hearing from them right at the end as well. But we're all here to see some pitches. And before we hand it off to Jens, I want to set the stage so folks know what to expect. We've asked everyone to do a great discovery call, but also to include a bit of a demo and to jam that all into 15 minutes. And just to set the stage, if someone's going through a discovery call and they're going to include a bit of a product demo, you'd normally expect a good 30 minutes plus. And normally you don't have judges checking boxes and giving ratings, nor do you have an audience of 20, 30 something people tuning in. So this is tough. This is a crucible experience. And I got to get that out first so that everybody feels the pressure, not just Jens. So let's make sure we tee that up. As we go through, I'll share a few more tidbits about the class. But first off, Jens, you all set? All ready to go?
Ready to rock and roll. Let's do this.
Okay. So again, after I mute myself, please do your introduction. And as soon as that introduction is done, I'm starting the 15-minute timer. So you'll have that time on the clock and hopefully make it off before the gong.
Sounds good.
Cool. Floor is all yours.
Thank you. Hey, everybody. I am so happy to be here today. My name is Jens. I'm going to be representing SalesLoft. Fantastic company. I got a soft spot for sales enablement tech. It's a beautiful, beautiful platform, seeing a lot of growth. It's a burgeoning sector this year, and could not be more excited to show what I have in store for you guys. If there was one thing about 2021 so far that I've really learned, that is, I realized how much more resilient I am than I thought. I've experienced some setbacks this year, but these last 12 weeks have really propelled me forward into some tremendous growth. And I'm so grateful to all of you, Sheila, Joseph, and Greg, all of you. Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Okay. Hi, Greg.
Hello, Jens. Good to be in touch with you.
You too. Great to see you. How's your week been so far?
It's you know what? It's been bananas. It's been another week. Let's just put it that way. We're getting set to enter the last month of the quarter, so things are heating up. Nobody's been buying. It's the summertime, but we still have the numbers to hit, so it's going to be a busy few weeks.
Fantastic. Well, that's what I'm saying. Just stick your nose to the grind, and we're going to get those results.
That's right. That's the hope.
Excellent.
That's the hope. Yeah.
Great. So I appreciate you linking up with me today. I just wanted to kind of go over a few things before we really dive into this. What I really wanted to accomplish with today's call, we've got 15 minutes. Are you still good for that, or do you have a hard stop at a certain point?
Yep. I do have to step into something in I guess 14, 15 minutes now. So
Got it.
We should just fire away.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. So I would love for you to share with me. I want to get an idea of where things are within your organization. If you can kind of just paint me a picture of like day-to-day operations, perhaps maybe things that have been working out great, or maybe things that haven't been working out so great. Would love to hear what you have to say. So go right ahead.
Yeah, we've got overarching, it's a big team. We've got we got about 200 reps all rolling up into my org. We go end to end. So we've got a BDR team that is running. So about 114, 115 reps on that side, 50 or 60, or I think we're just bringing on a couple more new AEs to round out to about 60 account executives, and then we go right through to customer success. So I mean, we're end to end. Lots of engagement with our customers, and we're just trying to clean up as we get into Q4, we're looking for a way that we can link up our communication with our customers and stay aligned. One of the things we're struggling with is we got people poking into each other's cycles. We start to lose track of who's talking to who, and that shouldn't happen. That's why we structure the org like we do, is to have better alignment with how we engage our customer base. So, I mean, in summary, we got a lot of moving pieces, and I think one of our challenges, we're just tripping over ourselves a little bit in terms of how we engage our customers.
Got it. That is a real problem. I can definitely see an issue with that, because that can definitely contribute to some pipeline hygiene issues. And if that compounds into a huge mess, that can really affect, the bottom line of like hitting your revenue targets for the quarter. I definitely see that being very problematic. If I could ask you, in terms of like the impact, have you seen where those issues perhaps lie? Is it more with the general cadence structure of what you're using with your existing software stack, or is it just more of like a management trickle down to your reps in terms of like communication and setting expectations for what needs to be done?
Yeah. So when we brought we brought our BDR teams in from marketing to report into me, and then we brought over customer success as well. So we're all aligned in the past year, and that was supposed to fix some of these things, but we're all using different tools. And so we've tried to get everybody aligned to different programs, but we're relaxing back into our old habits. And so we've got groups that are even within these teams, different pockets are using different things. We've had an acquisition that happened as well, which brought with it another set of tools for all three teams. So I mean, I think it's just a matter of we've tried some things before, but ultimately the tools get in the way of productivity, and the reps just are trying to get deals closed. So I mean, we need something that works. We don't need another tool. It's been a problem for us, but that's why I was excited to talk to you. I mean, I've heard interesting things, but I guess I'm a bit skeptical because we've been burned before.
Right. Absolutely. I can definitely understand that, and that is a very valid concern. When you have a tool that's actually impeding and getting in the way of productivity, that's once again a problem that I believe SalesLoft would be able to solve. And I could potentially see a fit here. So what I'd like to do in this case, Greg, is kind of give you a couple minutes to show you some visuals. Before I do that, do I have your permission to share my screen with you?
Yeah, absolutely. Love to see what you got.
Okay, fantastic. All right, I'm getting that fired up. Just let me know when you see my screen.
Yeah, looks good. I see
Okay,
wheels
fantastic.
and wheels and colors. I feel like I'm talking to one of my reps right now.
Yeah, definitely. So I just wanted to kind of, give you that bird's eye view of what SalesLoft, encapsulates. We have, it's a one-stop shop where you've got all different aspects of the sales cycle built into the platform. You have your cadence components here on the left-hand side, and then you have your deals portion down here where you're going to be focused on a lot of like more analytics and revenue targets, things that, you as a VP may be more concerned with. Either way, I do want to show you that you've got everything here within one-stop shop to make that happen. So before I move into that, do any of these stand out to you as potential areas where you really see a lot of strength or deficiencies in that we could perhaps solve?
I think one of the things we're seeing, I've been mentioning we're using different, we've got data, we've got inconsistencies in how we operate. I think I believe strongly we're missing opportunities to close more business, frankly, and we have many people touching a customer. So I think it also makes it hard to prescribe at times, is it an us problem? Is it an individual problem? So I think that there's a combination of things there, right? So visibility into data, we've got none of that today. So I think that or into conversations, I mean, that's interesting to me. That coaching aspect, I think, is intriguing too. I mean, I don't know how you do that at scale, but ultimately, if we've got a rep problem, we want to fix that, but we need to start with having some data.
Okay. Well, if you mentioned data, I did want to kind of show you here that there's a particular feature that SalesLoft incorporates using machine learning and AI. And what we refer to it is deal intelligence. So what that's going to enable you to do, Greg, in your position, is you're going to be able to get a bird's eye view of what deals are going on, and you're going to be able to track them, and you're really going to see where the efficiencies lie, and you're going to be able to tend to the problems that you're experiencing with people stepping on, things. So what I wanted to show you here is the opportunity dashboard, where you can see all the deals that you have in the pipeline, and you're going to be able to navigate and see where things are going really well and where things need to be addressed. And secondly, I think what's really important to tie in with getting into your issues of people stepping on deals and contact points is the forecasting. Oftentimes, what's going to happen is you're going to have funky numbers in reporting because all of that has become convoluted. But what you can do is you're going to be able to see where the numbers are in relation to where the closed one is, and also where your projected figures are. And I think a really important portion that I want to mention to you is the actual sales cadence itself. Here, what I have for you is where people can go in and design their own cadences to move forward with the product and make it their own, so that they can take some time to really work this in, and management can see where most effective is, where the most effective touch points are. So
sorry
Yeah.
to interrupt Jens, but if you had a situation here where you had multiple people touching an account, can I add to a cadence? Can I, Greg's made a call, then you can see that I made the call. You can put your touch point in there, or is that fixed? Like, can we collaborate on that so that there's a way to keep track of who's touching what?
Yes, definitely. That you can, in fact, you in your position as VP would be able to see all of that information at a glance. And then what you could do, let's pretend that you were looking over, and analyzing all this. You could say, if you noticed that there was a problem with people, stepping on touch points, or they were getting into other deals, what you could do is you would be able to compile all of that data where that is occurring, and then you can issue directives to management so that you can get that cleaned up.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that said, I know it was a lot with the visuals there. Is there anything else that you needed a little bit of clarification on? We do have about 4 minutes left.
Yeah. So, I'm intrigued, especially that part with being able to just add points to a cadence. I've got a couple of colleagues, other companies who have implemented tools like this. One did SalesLoft, took them a long time. So I would like to continue the conversation, but who do you recommend I include in there? And what can you tell me about how long this is going to take? We got a big quarter ahead. Is this a Q4 or is this a 2022 midway point? Because that's certainly a concern of mine.
Great question. I would be very confident to say that this could be a quarterly thing that you'd be able to accomplish, and here's why. What we have that comes on the back end of SalesLoft that's in the stack is what we refer to as SalesLoft University. And this is where you can really dive into a lot of materials and really get comfortable and familiar with maximizing your usage of SalesLoft and really gaining that leverage. And what I think is really cool, Greg, is you can actually get what I refer to as like, it's like concierge level service, where you can book and register for meetings to meet with our customer success team and reps that will help you to really get ahead of the problems that you may be able to, that you're foreseeing, and to help you get ramped up on the usage in SalesLoft. They're there to basically make it happen within that 30 or 60-day time frame, because I know that things change really fast in tech. So we've anticipated for that by offering this. Does that sound something that you would like?
Yeah, that gives me some confidence. I'll believe it when I see it, but it does sound like something that I could get in place pretty quickly. So it appears I would want some admins in on a future conversation, but what do next steps look like?
Okay, so the next steps would definitely including either like your IT or security, for a security audit. You do want to get one of your managers there as well, because they may be interested in taking on, a leadership role to implement this training that they would be using from SalesLoft University, and then circulating that down to your reps. What I do highly encourage you to do, Greg, is on our next touch point with an account executive, they're actually going to run the real-time demo so you can really see the platform in action. And that will probably take about 30 to 45 minutes. In that case, I would love to go ahead and get that meeting booked for you. The email address I have is greg@xyz.com. Is that correct?
Yes, I know it seems generic, but that's the way to reach me. Just fire over some times, and I'll be happy to throw that around the team and see if we can land on something that would work.
Absolutely. That would be a pleasure for us to do, because, based on the things that you've told me and what I've heard, it definitely sounds like we have a very strong potential fit here. And I think we could really make this work. So again, I appreciate your time. It was awesome to talk with you again. And
cool. I'll watch for your note, Jens. Yeah, thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Greg. Take care.
Take care.
Jens, great job. I had 48 seconds left on my timer. So excellent time management skills, and great job robbing me of the joy of using my soundboard. But first, I'm going to come right back to you, Jens. But first, let's give a heads up to our second competitor. Next up, and so getting ready in the wings, would be Marcus Tolentino. So you can get yourself ready, make sure you're all kind of set up and configured. But what I'd really like to do is circle back to Jens. Now that you're out of the hot seat, how are you feeling?
I feel great. Being a performer, it's always a rush to talk to somebody and just do the cycle,
Nice. Is there anything that you would have changed up now that you're done?
Looking back, I think there was definitely a pain point with Greg on his reps in his organization, stepping on other people's deals. Mm-hmm. And I really appreciate the fact that was a tough question he threw at me. And I really tried to ensure that he was being heard. I just wanted to also hit home that, in order for us to really address that, he would have to do that deep dive with the AE, so it was definitely a bit of a curveball. It was a little bit of heat, but I did my best. Nice.
Good reflections, good comments. Marcus, quick check. You all set up? You ready to go?
Yep, ready to go.
Okay, so just before we let Marcus go in, again, for everybody tuning in, to reiterate, we've got our 4 competitors. Marcus is number 2 of 4. And for everyone that's checking out, this group has been incredibly powerful. Jens mentioned earlier, the group has had some ups and downs professionally, personally, but something that's been a real hallmark for this group has been how warm and welcoming and safe a space they've created for each other. From day one, it's been a really open and supportive group. And so yes, they're competing against each other, but they're very much allies and each other's support network. And I think that's going to come across in the conversations and the dynamics. And Marcus is definitely a large part of that too. So eager to see what he brings to the competition. Again, reminder, be sure to highlight who you're selling to so everyone knows who Greg is this time. And, we'll see if he's still at XYZ or somewhere else. But after you finish the intro, I'll put the 15 minutes down and we'll see if I get to hit the gong. Okay, I'm going to mute myself. The mic's yours, Marcus.
Thanks, Joseph. Hi, everybody. My name is Marcus. I am going to be representing Sprout, and I'll be selling their platform, Sprout at Work, to Greg, who is the VP of Human Resources at a mid-sized company. We've had a few conversations, a couple conversations on the phone and one email or such. And today is our first Zoom call. So, oh yes, my timer. Hi, Greg.
Marcus, good to be in touch with you. Nice to see your face.
Yeah, good to see your face.
Conversation. Nice to see.
It's great to put a face to the name. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. You work at Sprout. It looks like you've got some sprouting happening in your background there. I don't know if that's something that everybody does at Sprout, or if that's just your personal style.
Well, this is what happens when a pandemic hits and you're just by yourself and need something to do. So out came some plants, and here we go. I know we're actually coming up to the long weekend. Do you have anything planned for this weekend?
It's nice of you to remind me of that. Yeah, I think we're celebrating a birthday actually. So one of the kids is a birthday this weekend, and so we'll do a little bit of celebrating. That'll probably, because it's a long weekend, turn into a series of birthdays. So that'll be nice to do. What about yourself?
Myself, actually, I'm heading out to Salt Spring Islands for the first time, so I'm pretty stoked about it. Yeah, it's a little late.
What do you get up to out there?
We're going camping, my partner and I.
Nice, very nice.
Late in the season, but it's the only time that we have. So Greg, thanks for taking my call. I know, just want to do some some housekeeping, a few housekeeping things. I know that we're actually in for about 15 minutes. Is that a hard stop for you?
It is, yeah. I've got to step away to something, 13 minutes or so. Got somebody coming in for a sensitive matter, internal. So this will just be a quick chat today.
Okay, I'll try to get you out of here early. So what I want to do in this call, I just want to ask you a few questions just to see if our platform is a perfect fit for you. And at the end of the call, and if you don't feel like it is, we can say our farewells and part as friends. Is that okay with you?
Sounds good.
All right, let's get into it. So I guess the first question I want to ask you, with all your employees currently working from home right now, what do you currently have in place, or what did you currently have in place for employee wellness?
Yeah, I think you're hitting on the thing that has been the bane of my existence here for the past year and a half. I mean, we take the wellness of our employees seriously. We're just trying to attract and retain great talent, and so that's something that the people value. And we had a wellness program that allowed us to bring people into the office, and people could get massage services done. We had some mental health practitioners who would come on a monthly basis, and that was great to just bring people together to provide some of that additional service. And then even just small things that we would do. We had a running club at the office, just ways for people to stay active. Even we try to provide meals on a semi-regular basis. Just we know the wellness of our employees is important to us, and it's important to them. So we've lost all of that, of course. So currently, we're encouraging people with some programs. We communicate about the importance of it, but we've really lost control of that. And I think the transition from what we had to now this work from home environment, it's been tough for a lot of our people, frankly. So companies I think have gotten creative in solving this problem, then feels like we're way behind. Because we got a small team. We're just trying to do a lot and we just can't keep up. So yeah. So it's been a challenge, to say the least.
I'm sorry to hear that. That does sound like a lot. Especially when, like, you know, when you need something to do and you don't want to be isolated and you still want to be in communication with your team, you still want to do all these fun things. So yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. That's a big loss. Because of this loss of infrastructure, you touched upon challenges in hiring and retaining top talent. Is it because you're kind of like missing a certain portion of a competitive compensation package?
I don't see it as being comp related necessarily. I mean, we pay competitively. I mean, we're a growing company, so we get a lot of great press. We're just celebrated as a great place to work. I mean, we have a lot going for us. I just think that there's companies who have found ways to get creative with this new work from home reality. And I think we had the excuse for a long time, and we've just been trying to dig ourselves out from a lot of our own challenges, and companies have gotten creative on how to engage employees in a wellness conversation, but nobody wants to be on another Zoom call at the end of the day. So our small group Zoom meetups are the least popular thing anymore. It's the last thing anybody wants to do at the end of the week. So it feels to me that it's not a comp related. We have no data to suggest it's a comp related matter. It's purely we're getting feedback that we're just losing on the experience that wraps around the work.
Mm-hmm. And this is coming from your employees, correct?
It is, yeah. We do a pretty rigorous exit interview process, and even just our pulse surveys that we do internally on employee engagement that we try to maintain. We're seeing dips in engagement and dips in that satisfaction on the day-to-day.
I see. Okay, so with all that being said, and you know, you're finding those dips, you're trying to find creative ways, just like other companies are trying to do this. Do you find that it is a administrative burden on you and your team to try to come up with these programs, try to come up with tracking these steps for your employees, trying to engage and build a community for them so that they feel like a valued employee?
I mean, it's ironic because we have that dip in engagement across the function, and then the team that's there to help drive engagement or be a catalyst for that. We're having that same issue because we are buried in a lot of. I mean, that's what I'm stepping into in about 6 or 7 minutes. Here is just another challenge that employees having, and that's what my team has to deal with on the day-to-day. So yeah, they're buried in work themselves and just don't have the capacity, it feels, to think of this on top of what they're trying to address. I'd say we were lean and mean, but we're just lean now. We're lean and tired.
Lean and tired?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Greg, do you mind if I share something with you?
I would love, yeah, absolutely. I'd love to. I mean, what we've loosely talked about has been interesting, but I'd love to see a little bit more about what you do.
Okay, I'm just going to share my screen with you. Let me know when you see it.
Yeah, I got your screen.
Okay. So we talked about, the loss of infrastructure. We talked about, the hiring and retaining kind of like headaches of trying to retain top talent with the package that you have, and of course the administrative burden. So I just want to walk you through a few things with our platform. It starts off with like a real-time health risk assessment. That's that's information that's pulled from your HRM system, like this, like a data file that creates, along with a survey that each employee makes, that creates a kind of like a profile and a health score. for the employee. From there, they have libraries of different resources like healthy eating habits. There's challenges that they can sign up for to build communities as well. And also they can actually sync it to their favorite wearable device. If they don't have a wearable device, their smartphone will actually work as well. Everybody carries a smartphone. It is a mobile first platform. So that's an ease of use because everybody carries them around. But however, you're still able to actually log in from the computer. With these challenges, could be any different departments around your company. They can participate in these challenges. They can earn these points, and these points that they earn go into like a wellness markets where they can buy different things. They can win. They can also win different prizes like a Fitbit or a gift card. Or there's a big one that we did that they were giving away a bike for the summertime. Points are allotted and required for the purchase of these. And you can actually earn points by sleeping. Like if you slept for 7 hours, you get like 25 points, and that's pretty easy to do. There's one of them that I'm actually really struggling with is drinking 8 glasses of water a day. I cannot seem to get to 8 glasses of water. But so it comes with that is you have your engagements, you have different events, so that the loss of infrastructure you can actually replace with online yoga classes or webinars or stair challenges, Zoom improv challenges. And then with with your additional adding on to your competitive compensation packages, it actually brings in the value of the prizes that they can win, the communities that they build, the relationship that they build with each other, making it feel more of a community rather than just an employee sitting at a desk at home. But one thing that we actually did talk about was administrative burden. Now, I have a case study here with Port of Portland. They had employees that worked 24 hours around the clock. So there were some challenges that those who worked at night weren't able to be able to participate in. And that turned into also administrative burden trying to manage multiple initiatives. With our platform, they were able to actually, because it's available 24 hours and there's different resources they can take at 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, 5 in the afternoon. So it took away that portion for this company. They've saved valuable hours in HR. They promoted better habits, and they build like a cohesive culture with their employee population. Now with knowledge services, they had slightly different. Everything was more labor intense because they had so many remote. They had 7 remote offices and a large population. So with our services, they were able to save some time, connect these geographic locations. In the end result, they actually reduced their administrative work by 25 hours a month. They brought up their engagements and the reporting was visible, and they were able to connect the 7 different offices at the same time. How does this all look to you, Greg?
Yeah, there's a lot to take in there, but I mean, what you hit on at the end, I mentioned, we're looking at our exit interview data, understanding how that connects, I think would be a great part of the next conversation to say, okay, let's say we invest, what kind of reporting do we get for engagement and how that's contributing back to the bottom line?
Oh yeah, I would love to. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'd love just to understand what next steps would look like, because I think there's some interesting things here and who I might want to include. Oh,
absolutely. So next steps would be, I'd be setting up another meeting with our account executive. Her name is Bree. Bree is actually the employee number 3 at Sprout. So she knows her stuff. She'd be happy to actually, speak with you. I would love to be in that call as well, because, I just want to take a look and watch and see your journey unfold. Other people I would actually recommend perhaps your HR director who deals with budgets, compliance, staffing, and payroll, and also maybe your HR analyst that actually deals with and manages employee data, other statistics and surveys and information. How does that sound?
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good. Yeah. Yeah. There's a bunch of us to coordinate. So why don't you send me over some times and I can just confirm with you what works.
Okay. How do you feel about coming back from the weekend to ease into the short work week? How do you feel about a 10 o'clock breakfast breakfast demo?
So why don't you can flip that my way and I'll see if I can get the team in on that. May not work, but we'll give it a shot. But then we have something on the calendar.
Perfect. I have your email address here at greg.boyd@rockstar.com. Is that correct?
You know it.
All right, my friend. I'm going to fire that off to you right away. And it was a pleasure talking to you. I can't wait to see you soon.
Thanks so much.
Right down to the wire, Marcus. Well, you got the time. It was booked. Well done. Great job. Take a breather. And for everyone that's joining us on the live stream, we are going to take a quick mid-competition break. We're going to let you go for 5 minutes so people can top up on caffeine. But don't worry, it's not a placeholder. You'll get some fun content while we're doing that. But for the folks live streaming, we'll see you shortly. You back soon? Joseph Hung here to share how Uvaro can help change your life in just 12 weeks. With the rise of remote work, tech companies are clamoring to hire top talent who can help drive sales, and Uvaro prepares you for exactly this. Our accelerated program is designed to provide you with a hands-on experience and knowledge necessary to thrive in a tech sales role, all while building on your individual talents. Our grads come out fit to be hired and ready to crush quota. But don't just take my word for it. Hear what our grads have to say.
For me, it was a really good chance to up my skills, as well as join a bunch of people who are, aiming for the same thing, which is finding a really great job.
Pre-Uvaro, I think I'd sent off well over 100 resumes and gotten less than a handful of responses back. Post-Uvaro, my success rate went up to over 99% of resumes that I had sent off. I had at least gotten a response back.
The content, the guest speakers, just amazing.
With Uvaro, I learned that there's nothing that I should be ashamed of as a salesperson because I am there to help.
They are giving you internship. They are giving you this great experience. I thought, okay, I would have never gotten into sales without this course.
Uvaro did a great job of introducing me to a lot of different perspectives, different coaches, different industries. And so just this idea that, you try something, you iterate and you keep trying again and again until you find something that works.
If you're on the fence, just don't even think about it. Just do it. It is the best career decision I've made.
Download our course syllabus for a detailed breakdown of the full 12 weeks. Reach out to us if you have any questions, and I look forward to seeing you in class.
Are working as a BDR, there's a very short span you need to convert someone in. To gain that attraction, you definitely need yourself to be prepared. You need to have a very crisp pitch. So for me, I start my day pretty early to get a workout in, get a good breakfast, so that by the time I'm hitting my laptop, I'm all refreshed. Cold calling, especially, our industry is such that it's a very old school kind of industry where you have to pick up the call and speak to them, because there are a lot of people who are always on ground or probably in meetings, so they're always more feasible on a call. So I have to be 100%. Calls start at 9 a.m. So I try to call people before 9 a.m. Just have a conversation. All my emails are pre-planned. So if I have to send an email tomorrow, I would be doing all the work in the second half today. So I have a certain targets which I need to meet, but then I will schedule my emails out on HubSpot, and then they all go at 8 a.m. in the morning. If they're not picking up my call, then I'll try to, and I see probably on Sales Navigator, they're probably more active. I will be sending them an invite. One thing I've learned is that don't pressurize yourself too much as a BDR. Sometimes it's just very successful day, and then some days will be bad, but it's just the life of it. So you need to get used to it as much as you can. And some days if things are not working out, shut the laptop and just go for a run, enjoy yourself, and get back to it tomorrow.
first half.
To be the best salesperson, you have to come from the perspective of wanting to help your prospects.
Looking in, I kind of thought sales was just the end game. Like, get them in, hurry up and get them to agree, get them to sell, get them to sign, and you're good. Make your boss happy.
I always felt that I was tricking people into buying my product or service.
I think the biggest thing is in your value. Not only your value, but your product's value. And also being able to articulate that value to the buyer. I think that's the biggest thing.
With Uvaro, I learned that cold calling, prospecting, writing emails, doing demos, or negotiating, everything becomes easier when you come from this perspective.
I didn't have the power to create that peer-to-peer network. And I think Uvaro, with its alumni and with the whole course so integrated, it is helping me create that peer-to-peer network, which is so important in sales as well as in your professional life.
It doesn't feel like the instructors are there as salespeople at all. Like, they're there helping you get into this field and easing you in.
The content, the guest speakers, just amazing.
The curriculum at Uvaro was really instrumental in holistically preparing us not just for sales, but for a career in the tech industry.
Mahmood, when you get back, if you can make sure you pop your screen back on.
Entered tech sales because I was interested in doing the business consulting, strategy consulting, and B2B sales was one of the.
So welcome back. We've had a fantastic intermission break. I'm topped up with caffeine, so I won't be falling asleep in the middle of this, which is awesome because this is fun. Wanted to share a couple of notes before we get into our last two competitors to give competitor number 3 a heads up. Dawood, you're up next, so you can get yourself ready. But for our streaming audience, one of the things I wanted to highlight is just how powerful and dynamic this group has been. And just to get you an idea, within our program over the 12 weeks, it's a bit of a crucible. You're learning new skills, interviewing skills, figuring out what kind of company, what kind of role you want to have. And in amongst all of that, you begin interviewing. And our team here has been interviewing like stink. In fact, one of the competitors today came in hot off their 3rd interview today. So talk about high power team members who are supporting each other and just really cranking through it. That's hard, being in a ton of conversations and then jumping into a competition, but great job. Really, really impressive. So again, as a reminder, dude, please be sure to say what you're demoing, who you're demoing to. So far, Greg's been at XYZ. He's been a rock star. We'll see where he is next. But after you do the intro, I will put 15 minutes on and then you're up. All yours.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dawood, and I'll be selling HiMama. HiMama is a software that's useful for daycares and also parents. So it enables parents and their kids to be able to communicate properly when they leave their kids at the daycare, and also it provides seamless communication between educators and the kids' parent as well. So whenever the parents want to check on their kids through the educators, they can always do that remotely instead of calling in and disturbing or distracting other kids from their activities. It also helps in automating daycare processes like billing, like attendance, kids' attendance, and other paperwork. So instead of the paperwork, everything is done on a mobile phone or on a computer. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's start. Hello, Greg. How are you doing today?
Dawood, it's good to be speaking with you. I'm doing well, thanks.
Yeah, first of all, I want to congratulate you on your new role as a director of this daycare. How has it been so far?
It's been interesting. Running a daycare facility in the COVID era takes. I don't want to speak disparagingly of my customers, but let's just say it makes parents crazy.
Yeah, I really hear that.
So it's been a lot.
Yeah, I really hear that, and I've been hearing that from a lot of directors like you as well. So so just jumping right in, before we start, I would like to confirm if the 15 minutes is still okay by you.
Yeah, absolutely. This is great. I've got about 14 now. I actually have a parent interview in about 14 minutes, so I'll have to step right into that.
Okay, sounds good. And also that my objective for this meeting is that I want to make sure that this product is actually a good fit for you. And if I can ascertain that, then I can move you to the next process of getting a deep dive into our product and seeing the value and seeing how it can improve your business processes. And if not, we can always part as friends. Does that sound good by you?
Yeah, that sounds perfect.
Oh, okay, cool. So in the light of knowing why you are here with me today, I would like to really understand why you signed up on our website in the first place.
Yeah, we, like I said, I do love the work we do, in spite of how I opened, but it has been chaotic. Our customers obviously care a lot about the service that we offer, and anxiety has just skyrocketed over the past year and a half. Parents want to know what's happening. They want to know if we're open, if we're conducting business in a safe way, and that's just taken the time that the team spends with kids all day. So our customers, children, who we ultimately view as our customers as those kids. They go home and they talk about the experience, but it's probably it's turning into a 1-to-1 ratio, the amount of time that we're spending with children and then doing the admin side of the job, and it's turning into a complete nightmare. It's just a lot. There's phone calls like the one I have just in a few minutes that happen where we're just needing to over communicate, and it's just burning out our team. We've lost a good number of our care providers just because they themselves are burnt out from having to not just spend time with high energy youth, but they're high energy parents also. So it's been a tough transition. With that as well, what's come along with that, sorry to kind of pour it all out there, but it's also been tough with parents ghosting. They stop bringing their kids and they owe us money, and it's been a challenge for us to manage.
Wow. And I'm really sorry to hear about all these challenges, and considering that you are even still new in this role, like how are you doing right now? No, I have to ask you, how are you doing personally? Like work aside.
Yeah, well, I stepped into this role because I care about having a positive impact on my community, and I love working with kids and with our instruction team, and I think they're burning out. I'm just trying to keep the ship steady, but it's been a lot. I guess I would just say that I'm feeling I don't wake up many mornings without a bead of sweat running down my head before I even get out of bed. So it's been a lot to manage.
And I hear you, and I hope things get better day to day from now on for you. And I actually have one question. Like I would like to understand your business processes, your day-to-day activities in the daycare.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, what processes specific? What would be helpful to understand? I mean, I don't think you're interested in snack time. I think that we're talking about some of the back end, but just I want to make sure I'm giving you the right information.
Yeah, so I would like to know what your billing process, how you manage your attendance with the kids, and also how you manage communication between the kids and their parents while they are still in your facility, and also the communication between your instructors and the kids' parents as well. So, yeah.
Got it. Yeah, got it. So right now we do so we pre-bill. So at the beginning of a month, we're billing parents, and we've been trying to stay on top of canceled days, and so when days get canceled, if it's enough in advance, then we will actually just we'll do a payment back for days if there's enough notice, which we need to eliminate that policy, but we've been doing that. That's been a bit complicated. But billing happens at the beginning of each month. And then we do some reporting to make sure we actually do receive funding at the end of each month. So it's kind of just choppy. That's been interesting. The in terms of just tracking activity and attendance, that's paper-based in the care facility. We've had a lot of new care providers come into the team. As I mentioned, a lot of turnover. So we haven't had time to teach new systems. So we've gone to a paper-based just to at least make sure we have some data for that. And then communication with parents varies by person. So it's, the conversation at the door on drop and pickup is some parents want that and some parents don't. And then we will get phone calls from some, throughout the day that can be very disruptive. But I think I answered all your questions, but that's yeah.
And thank you for touching up on those questions. And I've been having a lot of conversation with directors of small and medium-sized daycares like yours, and these same issues come up in our conversation, like attendance tracking, paper-based processes, allowing communication between parents and their wards. And I feel it's a real problem in the industry, and that is why we are here right now. One thing I would like to mention right now is how would it impact you in your current role as a director right now, and also the daycare in general, if we are able to solve this problem for you?
So in terms of how we track hours and the amount of capacity we have, we've had to overhire some staff in order just to compensate for turnover, but also help shorten the amount of time they're working in the day so that they have enough time to complete a lot of the admin side of the work. So we have enough capacity. We could probably grow. We could probably add more kids because we have enough space and we have enough providers. So we could bring in more if we had more efficiency on the admin side. So I think that solving these problems, besides the trickle of sweat not going down my brow every morning, that'd be nice too. But I think the business benefits would be completely game changing.
Yeah, that's really nice to hear. And I would really love to share my screen right now to show you just a sneak peek into what we offer. Then we can plan on diving in deep, maybe at the end of this meeting. So I'll be sharing my screen now.
Okay.
Can you see my screen now?
Got it. Yeah, I have got it here.
So recapping from what we discussed, you mentioned a problem about smooth communication between parents and their children, and also between educators and parents. So in our app, you can send special moments a particular kid is having to their parents, so that they can be part of that joy, of that laughter the kid is experiencing in your daycare. And the parents can call in, they can communicate with their kids via text, via video, without even disrupting the other kids' activities. How do you feel about that?
I think my jaw just hit the floor. Yeah, like that looks good. Yeah, that looks good.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be cool.
Yeah. So, and I would really love to show you this billing. So, I like to think of our platform as a one-in-all platform. So we do everything in there. So imagine your billing being taken care of within a blink of an eye with a push of a button. You don't have to run after parents that have refused to pay. Everything automatically gets deducted from their accounts every month or every payment cycle, and that stress will be lifted off your shoulders as well. Smart lesson plans, And also you can build your smart lesson, you can build lesson plans for your kids and build interesting activities for them to play, interesting activities for your daycare, for your kids in the daycare. So, and I believe this will benefit you a lot because our platform also, it also suggests fun activities for your kids. And you don't have to be thinking of the next activity you need to put out there for your kids. How do you feel about that as well?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't talk about that before, just the programming, because I think we're just not even we don't have the capacity to be proactive like that. So to think that we'd have the time to work on something like that is, I mean, that would be an exciting place to be.
Yeah, and also the fact that you'll be able to send in reports on each kids without even needing a pencil or a paper. And that would save you a lot of cost on buying pencils and papers to send to parents. And another benefit outside our system is that once you are able to eliminate use of paper, it means that you are also part of a sustainable business ecosystem, and you can get tax benefits from the from Canada revenue at the end of the year. How do you feel about that? Getting some money back into your pockets?
Yeah, I think we're sounds like we're trending in the right direction. Yeah, that these are all sending like interesting capabilities. Yeah.
So I understand that you are new in your role, but I would still like to understand how you make how your organization make decisions in this kind of purchase processes.
Yeah, so sorry, I'm seeing something else on your screen here too. So I just wanted to make sure I'm tracking with the question there. So I think what you've shown, it looks good. I think that I think we're on the right track for sure with something that'd be interesting. Okay.
But is there any other person we need to include in this conversation for us to be able to move it forward?
Yeah, I think that I'd want to bring one of my care providers in. We have somebody who stuck with us over the past couple of years, and I think for them to see some of the capabilities that they'd have on the front line would be interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that would be helpful. Who would you typically involve in the next step for this sort of process?
No, we usually involve maybe the owner of the daycare and also some teachers, so that they can ask questions about how they are going to use it and about features that's going to affect their daily activities on the job. So that's why, so that we can get everybody on board and move faster on this process. Yeah. And
perfect.
So in the light of this, I would like to book you on another meeting, because I feel that you can really use our product to boost your business processes. And I would like to book you on another meeting. Would next Tuesday be good for you?
Yeah, I think we can try for that. It would have to be, I think we try to do it in the evening time. I'll have to coordinate schedules here, so you can send me some times and see if we can line up the people who need to be there.
Okay, so I just booked you Tuesday for 10 a.m. Does that sound good?
Sure. And we've got on the calendar. If we need to move it, then we can shift it around.
So is your email address greg.boyd@rockstar.com?
It is.
Yeah, okay.
It is, yes.
Have a good one. Thank you.
Thank you, Dawood.
Wow. Great job. Dawood, I had 4 seconds left on my clock. Job well done.
On my clock, it says I have nothing left. So that was why I decided to end it.
You're good. You can stop sharing your screen now. You're all done. You're out of the hot seat. Take it easy. Good job. So we've got one last competitor up. Tim, you're going to be up next. You've got 2 minutes to get yourself ready, and also give our judges some time to finish out their comments, their notes, their ratings. For those that are in the Zoom room, I'll I'll give you a quick update on what we're getting from the live stream. The feedback is that Greg's persona flipping and hat switching from XYZ to Rockstar and Rockstar has been very, very well received. And give Greg a Grammy, the hashtag is definitely resonating with the audience. So Greg, good job. I'm sure you're getting top marks from the judges too. This has been really fun. Dawood, now that you're off, how are you feeling?
Yeah, it's been such a stressful day for me. I did like 3 second stages interview. So it's coming, the last interview ended 6 o'clock. So and I had to be here at 6 o'clock as well. So it's been back to back, has been really, really crazy. But I appreciate this setup, and this will definitely be the highlight of my day. And I want to thank my classmates for being amazing teammates. We always share knowledge, give one another feedbacks, and I've seen myself grown for the past 12 weeks, and I've gotten better and better and better. And I've seen my other teammates also growing and getting better and better and better. And I know that the sky is the limit. And I also want to thank you guys, Joseph, Greg, Sheila, Alex, and everyone involved in this program for making such a success for us. Thank you.
Well, it's super, super kind remarks, but a lot of those thanks go to the judges and the folks who are sharing of their time to help give feedback, make introductions, do all that work. So we're saving some time for some thanks for them too. But great job, and take a breather. You get to sit in the audience again. Let's go over to Tim. Quick check-in. Tim, how are you doing? You all set up, ready to go?
I'm all set. I'm great to go. Joseph.
Okay. But before you do, let me do a quick check. Can I get a quick thumbs up from the judges if you're good with your scores and your notes? Want to make sure we give you enough time. Solid. All's up. And Mahmood, quick check there. Good with comments and scores? Awesome. Tim, again, who you're going to be selling it to, be sure to share that. And as soon as you're done your intro, I'll put the 15 minutes on the top.
Perfect. Well, first of all, hello, everyone. Thank you for having me here. Thank you, Joseph. Thank you, Greg. And a special thank you to Uvaro and to Sheila. Sheila, you've been such an incredible asset through these last 3 months. I just want to say thank you for all the time and effort and kindness that you've given us, and especially me. I just want to put that in there. I'm going to be selling Brex. It's a financial services product. My persona today is going to be a CFO, CEO, kind of wearing multiple hats, Greg. The company is e-commerce, been around for about a year. And I'm ready to go. Hey, Greg, what's going on?
Tim, it's good to be speaking with you.
Likewise. Welcome to September. I can't believe summer's gone.
Don't
remind
me. I thought it. I don't mind summer being over, but I thought it was. I'm still working on it being July 65th. This is my preference, as opposed to being the last week of,
well, you know
the quarter. Yeah.
Every season has something to give. Me personally, I love the fall. I'm in New York, so the fall foliage is beautiful. I don't know if it's like that where you are. And
yeah, there's that.
Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. So I'm excited.
Oh, that's good. We're a Halloween crew here. We have just cycle through costumes. So we've had this series of people in the family and in the neighborhood just swapping costumes around. So it's always a mystery to see who ends up being what, but we love it.
Do you wear a
I'm
costume?
looking forward to that.
Do you wear a costume?
I like to go as a cool dad. So I just like to throw on the backwards hat and walk around.
Trucker's cap.
Rock star. I like to go as a rock star. That's usually my approach. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, I'm also very excited about having you on today. Thank you for accepting this call. I know we briefly spoke last week and giving you a little bit of information. I also sent you an email, unless you got to check out the website. If you did it, that's fine.
Yeah.
I know we have 15 minutes. Just want to make sure that's still good.
Yeah, I've got something to get into in those 15 or 13, 14 minutes now. So we'll have to keep it quick, but I appreciate you sending that info over.
By 15. If I can get you a couple of minutes back, I will. My goal today is to take the bulk of it, just to really get a good understanding of you, explain maybe how the product could maybe bring you and your company some value. And at the end of the conversation, if that's the case, if you feel like there is some value and you want to continue, great. If not, then we'll part as friends, and we'll talk about that book in the background, To Take Over the World.
We're still working on all that.
All right, very cool. So I know I told you a little bit about Brex, and I know a little bit about your company, right? E-commerce. Congratulations! I think you guys just turned a year, so that's a huge milestone. It's incredible. So my goal in this first phase of the conversation is to really get a good understanding of how you bank, where you bank, things like what you like, what you love, what you dislike, and what your pain points are. And then we'll get into sort of the nitty-gritty of the specifics of how you bank. So if you could just share how your personal banking relationship or business banking relationship is going on right now.
I was saying my personal banking relationship. I didn't know you had a full suite of products, but yeah, for the company, I mean, this is no surprise here. Working with banks is a pain. So we're working with like one of the large institutionals, and I mean, we have that. I say we have that relationship, but we don't really. It's just they provide us a product, we pay an exorbitant amount for it. Whenever we need to change anything, it seems to take a long time.
Okay.
And we've had a just constant turnover of people that we work with.
Okay.
And we get a bill, we pay the bill, but I don't really know what we're paying for. It's expensive, but so I mean that would be just a broad statement, but I think high level. Then I mean a level deeper, we are scaling up our growth, and so closing deals, growing on the one side. I keep trusting that we've got the cash, but it hits me every once in a while that we're making fast decisions, and sometimes we just need to make sure we've got the cash available, or we've got financing available, or the right credit. And I mean, I'd like to just be able to pop open my phone, just check where we are. Our processes to even access information seems unreliable. Like like a couple hours of lag is a big deal in the pace that we're moving. And then but all of that said, so it's a challenge, but as you well know, if we're going to change anything, that freaks me out. Like, because if we're going to change, so there's that side of it. I mean, we're literally talking dollars and cents, and we're talking millions of dollars here. That are we going to have it when we need it, or are we going to miss something in process? So it's not ideal, but that's kind of where I feel like they've got us, right? We're not having a great experience, but I'm scared to leave.
I get it. And I just want to recap, and I want to make sure I understand what you're saying. So you have an account, you have a bank, you don't really have a relationship with them. So for example, if you have a problem, who do you call? Just the 1-800 number? Whoever's there that day?
We've screamed enough that we've got somebody that we can reach, but it's even that person changes every few months. So at least we've got one better than a 1-800 number. But
one better than 1-800 number, but still obviously room to grow there, right? And obviously you want transparency is what I'm hearing. You want to be able to have access to your cash, know what's going on with the bank. And you're also growing, so you want a financial institution that's willing to grow with you. Is that sort of the ballpark there?
Yeah, I'd say that last point's actually a good inference from what I'm saying. Yeah, we're growing. We're going to need different things, but we're tied to this other system. So I think that's
and also the fear about moving is huge. I just want to put you at ease. I've had a lot of conversations with companies and people in exactly your same position who have an existing relationship. It's like that bad relationship that you had in high school that you learned later on that thank God I got out of it, right? Completely understand. And institutional financial institutions have their place, right? Sometimes it's convenient to walk down the street. I'm not going to bash them and say that they don't have a place in society. But what we found is that we're living in a whole new world, especially right now in COVID. I'm assuming you're working remotely, right? A lot of people are working remotely. It's not like you can just walk downstairs and go to the bank anymore. You have a lot of things to do. You have kids and life and everything else that's going on. So you want a financial institution that understands your growth and your need for technology and your need to integrate with other technologies and sort of at the end of the day to make your life easier, right? Is that something that resonates with you?
Yes.
Right? Because you have your job, you're the CEO, you're dealing with salespeople, other companies and phone calls. We want to make sure that the banking is one thing that you don't think about, right? It's just, it's there, it works. And when you do have a problem, you have a dedicated individual that you just pick up the phone or email and they're receptive and they're on it and then they can help you. That sound good?
That sounds ideal.
Sounds ideal.
I think that, I think you, again, alluded to something positive there, which is, I want to, if I want to check it, I want to be able to look at it, but I don't have to think about it otherwise. So that's that would be
perfect. Good. Now that we got your sort of general understanding, I want to get into a few specifics, right? Just for me to get understanding of if your processes match up with our solutions, right? So the first thing to do is how you pay your employees, how you pay your vendors. Are you using checks, ACH, wires? Is it cumbersome or is it easy?
So no checks.
Okay.
We're doing rarely wire transfer and credit mostly. Large funds wire, but we'd like to take advantage of using credit as much as we can for any sort of rewards that we can get and tuck away for the business.
Cool. So rewards are important. We'll get to that later, but I just got an understanding. Okay. Now you mentioned before you sort of get a statement every month. You look through it, you pay for some stuff, you're not exactly sure what. Have you found that the amount that you pay every month is consistent? Or is it all over the place? Is it different depending on the month?
It's all over the place. It's usually up. We're adding new people, we're growing, we're adding new product or new services that we have to provide to our employees. It's generally up. It dips from time to time, but it does change. It's all over the place.
Okay. So we found that also clients I've spoken to that listen, you guys have to budget, right? You're a new company. Every dollar counts, right? Every penny counts. So if you can budget, just like your cable bill, it's the same every single month, and the bank statement could be every single month, and you can depend on that, right? Every single month. Do you think that would be beneficial for you guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love the yeses.
That's
I kind of tee it up. Yeah. I know the answer, but I know that I like to hear that. Okay. That's great. So you said it's good to know. So the next thing I want to talk to you about is how you get paid, right? So your e-commerce, obviously you have some kind of merchant services company that operates. Is that the only way that you guys get paid?
On the transactional side of the business, yes. That's our primary funnel for payment. Yeah. We have some broader partnerships that function differently, but like the lion's share is through our merchant partnerships.
And you said before at the beginning of the conversation that it was important for you to know where your money is. Do you find that the merchant processing company or whoever pays you, that it takes you a couple of days to get those funds and they're never when you need them? Have you found that to be true?
So yeah, it'll be a couple of days of transfer. And then I think even when the money shows up, we're still in a situation where, the banks are holding on to the cash, especially if it's larger amounts. So they hold on to the cash. It takes a while for the online banking to update. It's not real time. That's for sure. Oh, I think I lost you there.
You lost me there for a second. Yeah. Sorry. So by the way, they look like a ghost. I hear like this background. I don't want to scare you. You can see my face. Now for your accounting, right? You wear multiple hats. I know you told me that last time we spoke. What financial software are you guys using? And is it working
Yeah,
for you?
I'd rather not be specific on the
All right,
system
that's
at this
fine.
point. Yeah, but it's it's one of the main players. You could probably guess who it is.
All right, one of them.
I mean, or one of them. I mean, they're all fairly generic or fairly straightforward. But it's been with us for a while. We've used it for a long time.
Are they able to integrate with your bank? Is, I guess, where I'm getting at.
Yeah, I think there's some basic. It's been one of those things that's been a headache for us, and so we started exploring it. We just pulled back, and so we're just doing some manual work instead of expecting there to be an integration.
And lastly, before I get into the presentation, and I know we're also tight on time, so I want to make sure that I let you go when you need to be let go. On the credit side, right? You mentioned rewards are important. What do you use? Do you use a credit card or a debit card mostly?
Mostly credit. Yeah,
mostly credit. Okay. So you don't use a debit card? Never?
No. Well, we have it, but I mean,
no rewards?
Cash can, yeah. I think we're trying to just leverage credit where we can, the rewards and cash we save for a rainy day to pay the bills. If we can use somebody else's money, we're happy to do that.
Okay. I love that, especially if there's a low rate, right?
Yeah.
Perfect.
I'm just mindful, Tim. I mean, it sounds like you got some things that that you can help us with. So I'm keen to perhaps get a sense for where would we go from here? What would be
my goal here today, like I said, was to gauge your interest and to see if there's an interest to get to the next level of the conversation, right? So right now, I'm going to present my screen with your permission, and we're going to see if we can solve some of those problems that you were talking about, that you were alluding to. Is that okay?
Sure. It'll be quick. I'll have to pop out of here in a couple minutes, but
I'm going to share the screen and then we'll get there. Okay.
Sure.
All right. Perfect. Do you see the screen?
I've got you. Yep.
All right. So this is Brex. So we've talked about before about someone within the company that is going to be there with you the entire time. We have customer service and customer success reps that are going to be dedicated to you. One person dedicated to you that's going to learn everything about your business and how you like to do banking, and is going to be there for you whenever you need them. Okay. That's the first thing I wanted to get to. The second thing, we talked about cash. Cash is everything in a business, especially in the beginning. As opposed to you waiting, right? And I'm sure you use Shopify, Amazon, Stripe, one of these companies. I don't need to know which one. But what we allow our customers to have is immediate cash. I'm not talking about next day. I'm not talking about 3 days. I'm talking about right away. Okay. Now, when I say right away, I mean within minutes. Do you think that's something that...
I'm sorry. We've run out of time. That was the 15-minute mark there.
Really?
It was. I'm so sorry.
All right.
Great questions, but we got to wrap up. Oh, great job. You can stop your screen now, take a break. Easy. Unfortunately, we did run out of time there.
I don't know how to stop sharing.
There we go. So while we've got Tim exiting the screen there, take a breather. Our judges are going to finish out, their notes and their scores. You ran it right down to the wire there. We had, I think it was 1:04 on my clock when you got your screen shared. Good questions, but it kept running a little bit tight there.
Yeah, it's one of those things that takes a while, maybe a little under 15 minutes. But I was really happy for the opportunity. Thank you very much, Joseph.
Oh, awesome. And I mean, you really got into the pains there with Greg. You could see it there, when he was talking about scared to leave and the actual pain that we had there. So you've uncovered some really good stuff.
I wish I was there to give him some of those solutions to plan and schedule a meeting, but next time. Thank you, Joseph.
Almost. Okay, so we're going to give our judges a little bit of time to finish up their notes and their scores. But while they do that, Greg, you're out of the seat there. Now you can take a breather. Any overall thoughts or reactions for the? That's right. Squirt the water bottle on. Take a break. Go off back to the change room. But any comments for the competitors today?
Oh my gosh. I mean, each of you have been so gracious in the things that you've said. You've had such a great ride and have learned a lot from each other. That was obvious. I mean, the way you're rooting for each other tonight and seeing the group show up in the chat and everybody here in Zoom. It's good to see everyone, and kudos to this group. Everybody just stepped up in a big way. I'm looking forward to hearing the judges' comments, so I won't steal anybody's thunder, but I'd say that from beginning to end, that rapport building for each one of you was fantastic. Just the ability to connect in your own way. This idea of who you are, owning who you are. Everybody showed up and brought their genuine personalities and selves. That was awesome to see. So great work, everybody. You should be very proud of what you put forward and for each other as a group. So that was just an awesome time.
Great testament. And before we get into the feedback sessions, one quick check-in with this group's lead instructor, Sheila. Any comments you want to share about the competitors or about this cohort as a whole?
I'm not sure where to start. This group has done so much growing together. I'm really happy. I find end of course, I always have all these mixed feelings. It's the combination of pride and being impressed, and then just the sadness of knowing I'm not going to log in with them on Monday at the same time. The timing, we all knew coming in today that the timing was going to be a thing, right? I just think this class has spent a lot of time thinking about discovery and making sure that it's quality. I'm really happy with how things went today, and just everybody's ability to get into the realities of situations and the timing in a real life scenario. You know, it's there's not going to be a gong typically. I mean, I hope, I don't know, right? So I think you should all feel proud of yourselves, and thank you, all of you, the whole class, for how much work you've put into this. It's been obvious from day one that you're all going to elevate each other. So thank you for all of your work.
Great comments. I will share and reiterate the timing is really tough. But I am going to reach out to everybody here and say thank you, because I do like getting to use my soundboard. And I realized, Sheila, your comment there is really apt. I do need to start using my timer and my gongs on my own sales calls. So if anybody is tuning in on this live stream and you're calling me for a pitch, I think I'm going to start using that gong. Let's hold everybody else to the same standards too. We'll see how that goes.
Can we bring it to team meetings? Is that a thing?
100%. Yeah. So quick check-in, Greg. Are you good to kind of bring us through the feedback from some of the judges on our competitors?
I would love to. This is great. This hearing from our judges and giving the feedback is just such a rich learning opportunity and experience. So thank you. Thank you to our judges who we're gonna hear from. So each of you is gonna comment on one of the competitors. So HiMama, could you can comment first on what we heard and saw from Jens?
Yeah. Well, first of all, everyone, really nice job. That was super awesome. It was really nice to be a part of that. Jens, really nice job. I know that you've been through a lot over the last 12 weeks, so it's nice to see everything come together. I had a few pointers here that I'll just throw in. I think overall you did a really great job, qualifying for time, setting the expectations up front, kind of jumping in with enthusiasm. That was awesome. The one thing that I'll say for you and even for some of the other competitors as well is try and open with something that's a little bit more relevant about them, right? So asking questions like, how was your week? Or it's the end of the summer. Like, this is going to throw people off guard. It's going to get them to start thinking about the weekend, start thinking about what happened last week. So, I like the way that Dawood opened with, not to, to get on that, but I like the way that he opened with something relevant about the role and seeing something maybe that you saw on LinkedIn or that you saw in a news or something like that. So that's one thing I would say is just try to open with something like more relevant about the individual that you're talking with. And then when it comes to the pain points, I think you did a good job of asking good questions, and, Greg was definitely opening up to you a bit. But I think you had some opportunity to kind of use like the tell me more, right? So, there were moments where he was like, this is a pain that we're experiencing, and this is something that I'm feeling. And, you can basically pause and maybe, mirror him or try and label that pain like, wow, that sounds like it's really frustrating. Tell me more about that. Or, how does that play out? what is the impact, and try to really quantify that pain a little bit and ask him questions like, what would happen if, that continued, or, what has been happening, and try to dig a little bit deeper. And then the last thing that I'll say is on a kind of a similar note, but also just make sure that you are satisfying the concerns, because I know that from what I remember, he was very concerned about bandwidth. That was something that kept coming up, and he kept talking about how his team was already stretched thin. So you really want to make sure that he is able to articulate to you how your answers to that question satisfied that concern right there on the spot, because you don't want him to walk away from the call basically creating a narrative in his head where he's like, yeah, this is going to be too much work, or it's just not worth the effort. Like, the cost of doing nothing for him has to be a lot greater than the cost of doing something about this. So you want to make sure that you're really satisfying that concern while you have him on the call. But like I said, overall, really great job. I know it's not easy. This isn't something, not a product that you've been selling for months. So kudos to you and everybody. And thanks again for having me.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing that feedback. Our next judge, Mahmoud, any comment on Marcus? Break it down for us.
Yeah, absolutely. So, first of all, I just want to say, amazing job. It's very difficult to run a complete demo in 15 minutes and then have 20 other people's, looking at you and watching and having to deal with all the comments and looks. So, it's very brave of you to do this. So great work. I thought you did a really good job on providing the background at the beginning. What number of call was this? That kind of set the stage nicely for us to understand the relationship between both of you. Then you asked me about the hard stop, which was also good. Personally, I'm not a big fan of, telling him that you're going to be asking him some questions and then, to get the answers. I find it's a bit, you don't really do that in real life, right? Like, you don't go up to someone and say, hey, I want to ask you some questions and we'll see if we're a fit. Try to make it more human, try to make it more of a conversation than just peppering him with questions. Really good job at digging into their pains. You got what their pains were, which is retaining talent and work from home has been tough. Then you also dug deeper into their pains, which was also excellent. The only small part missing for me in the first part was just quantifying that pain, correct? Like, what is it costing them? How many people are leaving? How is it monetary? Is it psychological? What is it that is kind of causing him, to be speaking to you today? The second part, which was the demo, I personally thought that the case study was a bit too much. I try to avoid case studies just because they're generic, I find, and you don't know who you're going to be speaking to. You don't know what their pains are. So just coming prepared with a case study kind of feels that you've already thought about what you want to tell them and what you want to convince them with, right? Every prospect wants to feel special, and every prospect has special needs and pains. So just make sure that I would personally kind of remove the case studies and speak up and tie a bit more, their pains with what your features are. It was a bit too much for the prospect to take in. He even said that himself. He said, that was a bit too, that was a lot for him to take in. I find, that you could have paused a bit and asked for feedback or asked some questions just around, is this relevant to you? Tell me how you feel about this, or ask him if a solution like this would be beneficial for him, to get him to talk a bit more instead of just you doing the talking. But the demo overall was good. Just remember to pause and get some feedback along the ways and keep asking those questions. The closing, you got the next steps. You got the verbal contract. I find that the stakeholders, there was way too many of them, right? And I kind of felt that the prospect got discouraged because now he's not sure about the value that you're providing, but then he also has to manage all these people and get them in a room or get them at breakfast for you to pitch the solution to them. So I kind of felt he got discouraged by saying, yeah, we'll see about the breakfast, we'll see about me getting them together. Do you really need all those prospects to move ahead? Maybe get a person or two, build that relationship, make him your champion, and then let him pitch internally for you. But overall, amazing job. Digging deeper into the pains was really good. And you got the next steps. And again, fantastic job on a well-run conversation. And the timing was also very good for you. So great work.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for that feedback. Great job to you, Marcus. And it was to the wire. There's like 4 seconds left, if I'm not mistaken. Our next feedback, Lena, would love to hear your comments and feedback for Dawood.
Okay, I'm gonna keep mine short and sweet. If I were your friend in the audience and that was your pitch, I would have gotten up and given you like 10 million high fives. You really showed high sales EQ. The IQ we can always teach, how to pitch and do all that, but the EQ piece of empathy, the active listening, connecting him with the understanding that he's not the only one who's suffering from whatever pain point it was fantastic to see. And then you started it on such a beautiful note of showing him that you cared enough to do research. One, you would have shown up on his radar earlier if you had done your research on LinkedIn. So that was like a plus. You're not coming out of nowhere with him. Hopefully you use video to even get him on this call. And then on top of that, you mentioned that director piece. From the moment you said that, and if I were in Greg's shoes, I would have been like, done. And again, that just built trust. That built the understanding that this person actually cares about me as an individual. And so I want to listen, because 90% of what you do as a BDR is getting people to like you, right? The product is always going to be the product. The solution to their problems, the AE can work with that. You can also touch on that, but getting them to actually want to talk to you, I thought that was fantastic. The other point that you did really, really well was you were the only one that at the end, you had a solid time. It wasn't like, let's book another time for the next couple of weeks. You're like, all right, Tuesday, 10 a.m. And I was like, okay, yes, good job. Like, that's exactly what you want to do. Because if you do it the other way, you run the risk of them ghosting you. So you put in all this hard work and all this effort and then never hear back from them. So having that set time holds them accountable and you accountable. And then hopefully you follow up with them. I would say that if I were a hiring manager, I would hire you based off of this demo. Like, that sales EQ piece is just so critical in a rep, and I thought you did wonderful. The only feedback I would give as constructive feedback would be, first of all, make sure that they have your undivided attention. It was like the worst thing to be sitting in a demo and to know that the rep is not fully engaged. And granted, I know that it is a competition, so you want to be really aware, and that's what you had up. But it would just be a moment of, oh, I really hope that this person's sincere and actually cares. So that's something to be aware of. And then the next thing is have fun. It had like a bit of a serious tone to it. And I'm like, we're just people. Every single day, each one of us gets up, we have our lives, we have everything. So to deconstruct the nervousness, just think about it as like you're talking to a buddy, you're talking to a friend. Go with the flow, have fun, have some jokes in there. And beyond that, I think you did fantastic. Bravo, mabruk, awesomeness. Good job.
Great feedback, Lynn. Thank you. That's great. That's great. Some great comments there. Love that. Be human. We're all friends here. that is for sure. So our final feedback will come from Chris to Tim. Please, Chris, over to you.
Yeah. So Tim, like, I think the one thing that really stood out to me is like you knew the product like back and forth. Like, the knowledge was crazy. So I think you had a lot of great talking points. And if it was like a 30-minute disco, you would have had the time, you would have crushed it, and it would have been amazing. But I think because it wasn't a 30-minute disco, it was like a 6-minute disco. That's where it's like you almost came almost like too prepared for the disco, right? And you know, it happens, it sucks. Like doing these for 15 minutes ain't easy. I mean, even my discos take 30 minutes and my demos are usually an hour to give context, right? And I even blow over an hour-long demo. I've done 90-minute demos before. So I think when you're thinking about it, it would have been focused a little bit more, like top 3 things, because you went like super wide. It's like there's probably 3 panes where if you just nailed it, or even just one because it's 15 minutes, and just like layered it deeper, and then said, boom, okay, I'm gonna show you how to solve this one piece. And then hop right over, walk through it, and ask them like, how does that sound in their world? Or how do they see themselves, you know, potentially utilizing that product? And I even tell people, like, I realize I'm putting you on the spot, but like, you know, does that look like you'd kind of address it at a high level? You know, just gut check real quick. Because that way they can give you the yes, no. And if they give you the no, then you're like, awesome, where did I miss it? And then go back, get them, and move. So I think kind of the biggest piece of feedback I can give you is move quicker and just refine it down a little bit, right? Because again, you have so much good knowledge, you know him, he shared some great pains, double down on it, and just start trying to go faster. Because that's just it's momentum. Like the thing that will kill you is losing deal momentum. I mean, anyone who's been selling, they've lost momentum, and rebuilding it is hell. So if you got it, gas it, go and just show it, check in, get the feedback, and you know, move on to the next piece. I think that's good. Like you have all the knowledge, you know how to do it. I would say just again, condense, faster, double down. And when we're asking questions, you want to make sure to give them an easy out too. It's like when people, like when anyone asks me sounds good, if I don't understand, I legitimately say no. I'm probably one of the weird people that will actually say no to that. Anyone else, because they don't want to look incompetent, they don't say no, even if there's some confusion. So that's why I'll frame it as like, how does that sound in your world? Or how, you know, what potential pieces can I explain a little bit better? Or, you know, does that look like it might check the box, or did I miss it a little bit? Like try to give them some easy outs so that way they can tell you no, if that really is the case. And so you make sure you have true fit before moving on to the next step, because we just want to hear yes in our head. And so we frame our questions like that, but maybe there's some hesitation. Maybe I'm ignorant in some piece, but I don't want to look stupid. So you want to just kind of set it up where it's always on you, give them that easy out, get alignment, and then move forward. So I think, you know, with some of those tweaks, you probably would have just ripped through it on and done amazing. But yeah, I'd say this first and foremost, condense, and then just try to move a little bit quicker. And if they're talking a lot, try as much not, you know, talk over them, but just try to condense them down a little bit. You can really remind them like, look, I want to be respectful of your time. You got roughly like 5-6 minutes. Would it be all right if, you know, I can just show you this piece to address that one key point? Because I really want to make sure we're a fit here for you. So there's ways that you can even kind of cut them off politely and make it about them. And like, I'm cutting you off because I want to ensure you see a fit, not just because I want to move forward to the next step. So if you put it in what's in it for me, you can cut me off all day if you can tell me why it's going to be valuable for me. I'm not going to get mad. If you just tell me like, oh, I just want to move on to the next step because I'm a sales guy, I got to move you through a process. So I'm now like cattle. Then I'm probably gonna be like, yeah, I'm good. I don't even care if you can solve my product. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't matter to me. So think of maybe some tactful ways if they're rambling to kind of jump in, gain control of that conversation, put it in terms why they care about it, and then continue to move them forward. That's what I got for you, my man.
Thanks, Chris. Really appreciate it.
It's great. I think that opening feedback, you know, the disco was well done, and me too. I was looking at the time, going, no way, Tim. So well done. Thank you to each of our judges for the feedback. That's so valuable.
Okay, we've gone through some feedback, and I know everyone is antsy and itching to know who's winning. But again, because we are live streaming this and we're on YouTube and LinkedIn and everything, I've got the obligatory smash the like, subscribe, share button, because we are kicking off some amazing careers. And you heard some amazing feedback here about the discovery, the dig in. And for folks tuning in, I want to anchor on something really, really helpful here. We just heard 4 incredible competitors really deeply empathize with the pain points of the buyer, understand how they can help and solve in 15 minutes problems. None of them work for these companies. None of them have actually had to use or sell these products before. This is all about learning what it means to empathize with a buyer, dig in, deliver some value, and move a deal forward. So yeah, that bar was high. All four of you. This was the toughest sales call you'll ever have to do. So from here on in, it's a cakewalk. You got this. Okay, Greg, are you set? Are you ready? Are you good for announcing a winner?
I don't know, Joseph. I don't know if I'm ready. I am ready, but I don't want to, but I am.
Okay.
I'm excited. I think I'm up for the task.
So before you do, everyone else, I'd ask that you take off mute so that when you're applauding or cheering or commenting, we can hear you. And Greg, if you could, tune us in. Let us know, who are we counting as a demo champ?
Okay. All right. So we're looking at the crew of June 2021. We have a demo day champion, and our demo day champion for this group for June 2021 is Dawood.
Yes! Hey!
Nice work, Dawood. That's all you, buddy.
Congrats,
Well
man.
deserved, my friend. Well deserved.
I did not expect that though. So thank you
Congratulations, Dawood.
so much. Thank you.
I gotta hand it to you. You slipped it in there. You shared to the group that you came in off 3 late stage interviews today, and then came in and ran your demo. That's a hot day. Well done. Well done.
It will definitely be the highlight of my day. I'll sleep easy now.
Great stuff. We've got a couple of housekeeping things. So if you're tuning in on stream, don't go yet. I'm going to share a couple of quick updates, and then we'll let you go. I guarantee just in a couple of minutes. For those in the Zoom room, let me share a slide too, just so you can see it as well. First off, for everybody that's tuning in, if you'd like an introduction to any of our grads, any of our members, you're building up your AE, your SDR, your BDR team, we're happy to facilitate those introductions. That's what we're here for. But we also run a number of events, a number of programming. So you can always join demo days like this. You can get that inside track by visiting uvaro.com/demo day. And you can put that on your calendar now if you'd like. The next one's coming up October 7th, and that's 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern. So it's an earlier demo day coming up. That's going to be fun. But beyond that, if you're building out your skills, your team skills, we have a number of upcoming events that I think you'll be interested in. uvaro.com/events is where you can see them all. But I'm going to give you a rundown of 3 really cool ones coming in. First is we have a Step into Tech quick 2-hour workshops. We do these weekly. If you know someone else that's interested in getting into the tech space, this is a great way to get introduced to what tech and sales and tech is like. No obligation. You get the best content from our program in a quick 2-hour stint. Fantastic crash course. Second, we have an amazing career coaching workshop coming up, and that is going to be live on YouTube as well. And it's starting September 15th, and that is 12 p.m. Eastern. So you can bring a lunch, join in. And one that I'm personally very excited about, we've got the colorful side of tech sales coming up, and that'll also be featuring the wonderful Lena Tibe, who's one of our judges today. And we'll be digging into some of the challenges of establishing and giving space for women and women of color in tech. And so super excited to be carving out room for that, because it's an important topic. And that is going to be a fun, genuine, authentic conversation. So if you care about the diversity of your sales team and your organization, this is a great one to tune into. But events aside, also a big, massive congratulations to everybody that made it here. The 12 weeks is a tough journey. This is a tough event. Job well done. Now you're going to dig into feedback and content tomorrow and wrap it up, but 2 big thumbs up. And to our judges, thanks a million. We could not do this without you. You're launching some amazing careers, giving you your time. So thank you for that. For those on the live stream, we're going to let you go. You take care, have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you next time.